Coming up on today's show.
So it's really important, I think, sometimes to identify your high energy point in the day.
Are you looking for, again, kind of more of a short burst, maybe 10 to 30 minutes? Or are you looking for, and how do you identify that? Or should people just know what that is?
You know, if you don't know your limits, then there's going to be disappointment. So
Finding the time and energy to declutter, part 2, today on Keeping You Organized. Welcome back now to Keeping You Organized. We are in the second half of our two-part podcast on how to overcome the excuses about I have no time, I have no energy to get organized, to declutter. And we're bringing back Maria Gracia from Get Organized Now. Maria, welcome back.
thank you so much, John.
Well, we got so into the time piece of it on the first half of this program, so people can go back and check that out at smead.com/podcast. But we also have the energy part. But before we get into that, I just want to maybe recap really quickly kind of what we talked about, the tips for time, and then we'll get into the energy piece of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so we talked about having a basket full of tasks, about 10 minutes each, every night at about the same time, every night, maybe 9 o'clock or, before you sit down to watch television and relax, that you just choose a task out of that basket and you do it. Mm-hmm. And, you kind of get that done, a little bit done each day, get you a little more organized than the previous day. So that was one of ours.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we had the stuff with your daughter and the reward system, right?
Yep, the reward system. My daughter has chores that she has to do every night. Actually, when she gets home from school, she does not use any electronics until she's done. She checks off each chore as she's going along, and we have her allowance tied in to those chores. When she's done with her chores for the day, she gets to play with her electronics or hang out with her friends or whatever she wants to do.
Great.
And then the third had to do with procrastination. How very often we will kind of get it all in our heads about how long it's going to take, and we spend so much time doing that we could have actually had the task done. So just kind of getting into the mindset, like, am I delaying, doing this just because I'm feeling overwhelmed by it? Let me just take one step and start getting it done.
All right, well, let's move on to the energy part. A lot of times people feel overwhelmed. When you're overwhelmed, you don't have any energy, or you've been working all day, and the last thing you want to do is come home and try to declutter or, get organized. So what are some of your tips for dealing with that energy deficit?
Yeah, so, I don't know about you, but I am not a morning person. So, that is not my high energy time of the day. But for some people, it is. So it's really important, I think, sometimes to identify your high energy point in the day. And if you can wake up in the morning and you're a go-getter and, you have plenty of time going in the morning, then it's kind of like, well, why not do a 10-minute organizing project before you even leave for work? Mm-hmm. Just get it done, because then you can go to work saying, wow, I've already accomplished this and I'm feeling good about it. On the other hand, I'm a night person. So even if I work all day, usually I have my most energy probably right around the time when I'm prepping dinner, because I'm kind of running around and all that. And there's a lot of time in between, like while you're waiting for something to bake in the oven or whatnot, to throw an extra load of laundry, in the washing machine, or to wipe off a counter. I'm already in the kitchen, or to clean out a cabinet or the utensil drawer or something like that. So it's kind of like identifying your high energy time and then using your high energy time to say, what else could I be doing while I have all of this, energy in my system? And that's just a nice way to get things done.
Now, are you looking for, again, kind of more of a short burst, maybe 10 to 30 minutes? Or are you looking for, and how do you identify that? Or should people just know what that is?
I very often I will consider like a paperwork project something that you usually have to work on a little more than 10 minutes to kind of make some headway with it. But if it's something that you're cleaning, like you're cleaning out a drawer or you're sorting through and weeding out a closet, that doesn't have to be a 30-minute project. That can be a 2-minute project. In fact, it doesn't even have to be time-based. You can go to your closet and say, let me take 5 items that I'm not wearing and put them in a box. So that, it can be a very quick thing. So if it's a paperwork sort of thing, I think that needs a little more focus time. But if it's not paperwork, usually that can be broken down into pieces. You know, you might be putting a cabinet together.
Right.
Doesn't all have to be done at once. You can sort the pieces nicely on your table according to what's supposed to be in there. So yeah, I think that you can take most projects and break them way, way down.
All right. What are some other tips for energy level?
Yeah, definitely. One is to know your limit. So some people will get very excited. Oh, I'm going to clean the whole garage today, and I'm going to, get the whole day blocked out to do it. And then an hour into the project, they're pooped and they don't want to do it anymore. And then they feel like, oh, I wanted to do this and I didn't get anything done. So now it's all of a sudden a big disappointment. So, this does take a little bit of soul searching, but kind of figuring out how long can I do this without getting bored, without getting exhausted. If it's a very physical type of job, you're probably not going to want to do it for more than 45 minutes, an hour at a time. If you don't know your limits, then there's going to be disappointment. So
do you try to approach that before you get into the project? Say, okay, this outside work or whatever is going to take me 3 hours, but I just want to do an hour of it, and here's what I'm going to do within that. Kind of break it down.
Exactly. We've done garage sales a lot in my house, and for anybody that's done a garage sale, it's a tremendous amount of work. Bringing stuff out of your house, and a lot of people leave everything that they have to bring out for the night before, and by the time the garage sale rolls around, they just, are feeling crazy in the morning. So. Usually what we do is we, one night, and we're talking, we have a garage sale coming up, 4 nights before, we'll set tables up in the garage, we'll push them to the side so we can still get the car in. And the next night we may bring the clothing out and lay it on the table. And the next night we may do the toys or the jewelry or whatnot. We really break it up into pieces because then when garage sale day rolls around, it's not so bad, and you don't feel like you're falling asleep on the the cash table.
Right. Yeah, that's when you get that huge coffee to get going in the morning, and everyone's what are your eyes behind that those sunglasses? They're kind of
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we'll talk more about how to overcome the excuse of I have no energy to declutter my home, and we're with Maria Gracia from Get Organized Now, and we'll be right back. Now, there's a place just for you. Life can be busy, and you still have to keep it all together. That's why you like to be organized and in control. Introducing MyOrganized.life. A special place where you can get ideas and solutions to organize what's important to you, your important papers, your important decisions, your important life events. We show you the ideas and products to stay organized in your life. See what's new. Stop by and say hello. Visit us at any time at www.myorganized.life. It's just for you. MyOrganized.life by Smead. Find us at www.myorganized.life. MyOrganized.life. We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about how to overcome the excuses of I have no time, I have no energy. And we covered I have no time in the first part of this podcast, which was last time. So you'll have to go to our podcast page at smead.com/podcast to find that. But we're with Maria Gracia from Get Organized Now and talking about energy. Now, I know you're from the last podcast that you're a Zumba instructor, so you probably naturally have a lot of energy, right? But how do you get more energy other than just like planning not to do the whole project, let's say?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's focus on what we're eating and what we're drinking, because that's a really big part of energy. A lot of people, the second they wake up in the morning, they fill a big cup of coffee up. And that big cup of coffee gives them a boost of energy for about 30 minutes. And all of a sudden, all that energy just goes away. And the only way to get that back now is to drink another cup of coffee and another cup of coffee after that. What I usually tell people in the morning when they wake up is to get a huge glass of water, like a 12 to 16 ounce glass of water, put a little lemon in it, drink that first before you drink any of your coffee, because that cold burst of water gives most people a good boost in the morning. And then you can have your first cup of coffee after that, depending on what time you wake up. If you wake up at 6, maybe your first cup of coffee can then be at 7:30, 8 o'clock. by then you've probably gotten quite a bit done. The other thing with energy is that we wake up very often, and the first thing we grab, especially if we're busy, is a box of cereal. And a box of cereal is usually filled, most cereals are filled with a lot of sugar, you know, and again, we'll get that quick burst of energy, even a granola bar. You know, if you look at the sugar content on a granola bar, it's very high. You get that quick burst of energy, and then all that energy is drained out of you, and now you are exhausted. Or for lunch, you eat a big lunch, and now that big lunch is weighing down on you. So I think it's really important to watch what you're eating and you're drinking during the day. Soda, a soda has tons of sugar in it, and we've really become a soda society. Switching out that soda for water makes a huge difference in the energy level of the majority of people.
Now, this dovetails really nicely into a new product you have out, which kind of covers some of these topics. Why don't you tell people, it's called the Glow. Is it the Glow system?
That's correct. It's called Glow. It stands for Get Healthy, Lose Weight, Outshine Yourself, and Wake the Wow. It covers weight loss, nutrition, fitness, recipes. I have dance videos on it, all things to keep you and your family healthy in a fun way and in a way that doesn't take you a whole lot of time. And in turn, what I recommend in the program gives you a lot of energy to get through your day. So it has a lot to do with what you're eating and your activity level as well.
Now, I know you're not a nutritionist, but what do you think causes the biggest drain of energy? Do you think it's like a sugar spike or insulin spike? Or?
Yeah, sugar is a huge deal. You know, I think a lot of people think of sugar as cake and candy and all that, but there's sugar in bread, there's sugar in pasta, there's sugar in rice, there's sugar in so many things, and there's hidden sugar in many things as well. I think sugar is a huge culprit in weight loss, in energy, in many diseases that are happening today. I do a lot of research because I am a fitness instructor on the side at the YMCA in my town. And yeah, sugar is a huge, huge culprit. Just by letting go of soda and juice and, you know, all of these very sugary content foods, it can do wonders for you.
Yeah. So are there any other tips on the energy? Because I know that nutrition is a real key thing. Anything else you could talk about?
Yeah. Whenever you have like a huge job, definitely break that job down into small pieces, because it's much easier to get a 10-minute job done than it is to get a 2-hour job done. Even if you want to get something done in a day, you might work, you know, and you might do it for 10 minutes, and then maybe, you know, you can spend 5 minutes doing something fun. Read a book, read a magazine, take a break, go outside, get a breath of fresh air, go for a walk. That would be great. You know, come back, work on it a little bit more. In fact, if you do that, it doesn't make you feel like you're working all day. Now you feel like you're working, plus you're kind of getting your relaxation, fun time in, and then you're working again. I kind of call that sandwiching your to-do list.
Kind of sounds like an interval workout, isn't it?
Yeah, it is exactly like a HIIT workout for sure.
Right. Well, what else can you talk about as far as your website, getorganizednow.com? I know you have a lot of resources out there. Tell people a little bit about that side of your business. You know, we've heard about the fitness side, and I know the Glow system is part of Get Organized Now, but what other kinds of things can people find when they come to your site?
Yeah, definitely. So on my site, the first thing that I recommend to people is to sign up for my newsletter. I have a newsletter that goes out, a main newsletter that goes out on the weekend, 2 mini editions with reader tips, reader clinics. Readers will write in a question, and I will respond to their questions. On my website, we have monthly checklists. So instead of having to think about, oh, what should I do to get organized, we kind of have it all pre-planned for you, room by room, family member by family member. We have mini challenges. We have motivation. Tons of stuff, quick tips, and we have a bunch of social media venues now from our homepage. We're on every social media venue out there, so you know, Pinterest and Facebook and Twitter and all that. So there's a lot of support, and I think that's what's so important when it comes to getting organized in general. It's the support. It's having somebody say, you know, did you do this, or you're doing good, it's okay, or you know, if somebody says, oh, I didn't really accomplish much today, well, you know, come to us, because we will definitely give you the motivation to keep going. You can only do so much in a day,
Right.
but you could do a lot, and you're probably doing more than you think already.
Well, and I think about, so back to the working out thing, when you work out, you feel better. But it's sometimes just getting started is the hard part. I was telling my wife this morning, just get up and do something. And she did, and she felt better. And that's going to help her be more productive and be more organized because she's got, her system moving. And so, that accountability piece is a really big thing of it as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Maria, I think we're out of time now here for this, but I think we've covered a lot of tips in these two episodes here, more on the time in the first one, more on the energy in the second. So, folks, if you haven't listened or watched the first one, go back and do that because you're going to find a lot of things that are going to help you overcome those excuses, which is sometimes just all you need to get your foot going in the right direction. So, Maria, thanks again, and we'll have you back again in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right, folks, there you have it. You now have the energy and the time to get organized and declutter. So go out and do it, and we'll catch you next time on Keeping You Organized.